market here, so it's his first race in the bottom.
And the Cole is a newer player, but he's put up some pretty impressive times as well. So it should be an interesting race, and it looks like we're off. So it looks like both players are picking up the mushroom in 1-1. So I would fully anticipate that both are going for regular fire strats. And here at the end of the level, the stream should be pretty well synced up, as typically the case. And there we go. They do such an amazing job on getting these synced up.
Yeah, it's awesome.
Okay, so let's see if both pick up the flower, and they will. The Cole kind of bonked a little bit there, so not a big deal though.
I'll have to wait there for the Goomba kills.
Yeah.
We're getting those pipe kills.
Yeah, so the Cole backed off a little bit on this level, so it's going to put him a couple of seconds behind barnowl. Okay, on to 1-3, since nobody should be picking up power-ups here. Pretty easy level, just hold right and jump over the enemies. If they do have to pick up power-ups, it's a little bit of a different scenario in which that getting that item block can actually be kind of tricky. But since they already have fire, there's no reason for them to attempt that.
Yeah, there are a couple players who choose to take the power-up here in 1-3 instead of 1-4, and others choose the other way.
Picking up the items in 1-3 and 1-4 is technically faster. However, especially in a race situation, it's a lot safer just to pick them up in 1-1 and 1-2.
Yeah,
so
for
let's
sure.
see how they deal with Bowser. It's like pretty good for both players. The Cole got through Bowser just a little bit quicker. People are jumping at the top of the flagpole because that is the only place on the flagpole that can potentially save you a little bit of time. Unless you're doing tricks like the flagpole glitch and so forth, but you're not going to see these players attempt something like that. Or most likely you're not going to. Looks like pretty good 2-1 for both players. The Cole winning a second faster. Let's see how the players deal with the 2-2 and the sometimes really difficult Cheep Cheep and blooper patterns to get around. They do have fire, so they can typically blast them out of the way, but sometimes that can be pretty tricky as well. Sometimes you think that you'll have them lined up and you're just a little bit off and you'll swim right into it. But hopefully for both players, they won't have any of that happen to them. It looks like both are making it through pretty well. barnowl got stuck on the Reef of Grief a little bit, and it looks like they're about synced up again. And
barnowl had to wait a bit there at the end, so I think Cole took the lead.
So it looks like the Cole is about 2, if you want to do it by frame rules, about 2 frame rules ahead. Which is not really much, but... And I think he slowed down.
Yeah, I saw he slowed down. He waited for the Cheep Cheep there.
This level is typically not that difficult, but barnowl to slow down a little bit too. Sometimes some of the Cheep Cheep patterns you'll get are pretty tough to get through without taking a hit if you don't slow down. So it looks like about the same distance for both players still. And we'll see if they both do the elevator jump. Cole Cole does it. Barnowl does not.
Barnowl takes it, so he does not risk it.
Barnowl fell in the hole there.
Owen Bowser giving him trouble.
So the Cole extends his lead by just a little bit.
Oh, Cole got stuck there on the pipe.
347 is the best time that you can get on this level. But I think if Cole got held up a little bit, we probably won't. Oh, and he takes a hit to the first Koopa. And Barnowl makes it through with a 344 with a little bit safer strats. So Barnowl is probably going to regain the lead here, considering that the Cole is probably going to pick up the mushroom, at least in this level. And yep, so Barnowl takes just a slight lead, but the Cole also needs to pick up another power up, so it's going to cost him a little bit more time. Still pretty close though. And 44 for Barnowl, which is pretty good. He must have slowed down a little bit toward the end, I believe.
Yeah.
Barnowl is taking the top route. Cole took the bottom route at the beginning.
Bottom takes the power up. So Barnowl have a couple seconds lead here, going into 3-4, and Cole had to wait there for the fireworks.
For 3-4, I figure both players will play it somewhat safely. It's not really a wise decision to go for it on this level, like go all out on this level if you don't know what the patterns are, which at this point, neither player should actually know what patterns they're going to get. So we do see both players kind of back off a little bit. No problem for Barnowl. And
even on the timers.
So good level for both players. On to 4-1. 4-1 is one of the easiest levels in the game. Just jump over everything, pretty much. There's not a lot to say about this level. Basically, if you just keep going, there's little risks and so forth. Yeah, I mean, jumping over the plants and so forth. If you jump at the wrong time, they can kill you. But the window for doing that is pretty large. So that's something you wouldn't anticipate seeing a mistake on account of that with players of this caliber. So here should be something interesting. We'll see what route both players take. They can go top or they can go bottom. Barnowl, as I expect, is taking the top. Cole looks like he's taking the bottom route. And he missed the shot there, but he was able to back off to avoid the hit. So both routes take the same amount of time if you do them properly. Barnowl had to slow down to avoid the fireworks. But some players prefer the top route, some players prefer the bottom route. Of course, the bottom route is always more fun to see, but the top route is safer. And Barnowl, I'm not sure. Oh, Barnow's having a little trouble here. I don't know if he misread something or if he dropped an input on his controller or what. Something
I'm not sure if he lost momentum there and get the jump.
So that's going to put the Cole back in the lead here, just a little bit.
Not that much.
Barnowl does the slide at the beginning of the level. You can pull that trick off if you're Big Mario, or I mean Fire Mario, excuse me, and you hold A and B when you start a level or when you come up out of a pipe for a few seconds. You'll do that slide. It's a pretty fun trick to pull off. Oh, and
Barnowl, those dodges.
Barnowl somehow made it through that, and he decided, I'm not even going to mess with this Bowser. I'm just going to get out of here, which is honestly probably a wise decision. That was a nice move by barnowl, though.
Yeah,
to avoid all of that.
he hit the axe first, but since he didn't kill Bowser, we had to wait for the animation for the bridge to collapse. So Nicole is again at the lead.
Yeah. Which that does cost him a little bit of time, but is it really worth the risk, especially in that scenario of where he would potentially lose his power ups if he stands there and takes a hit? So.
Yeah, so it's a good decision.
On the 5-2, let's see how they approach the bill. Cole has to wait. Barnowl does not have to wait. Barnowl takes the springboard, jumps on the bro. Barnowl took the middle route. Interesting. And Barnowl gets a 45. And Nicole got a 44. On to one of the troll levels in the game, 5-3.
Yeah, we'll see how the bullets will react for both players here.
Not too bad so far. Ooh, a little close there for the goal there at the end.
Oh, yeah.
But overall, those patterns were not that bad. I've seen a lot worse.
Looks like we're almost about even here.
And they're pretty much even going into 5-4. And both looks like they slow down to hopefully get the good bar patterns here. Barnowl makes it. They both make it.
Barnowl again takes it safe on the elevator jump.
And, okay. So Barnowl played a little safer, but both players make it through 5-4 okay.
Happy we're turning World 6 and still a very close race for both players.
Unless you're really slow at it, fire killing Bowser is always going to be faster than hitting the axe. Just to answer that question, if I read it correctly. 6-1, pretty easy level if you don't have to stop for power-ups. Getting the power-ups in that level though is pretty nerve-wracking sometimes. 6-2 is one of the more difficult levels in the game. It's not as bad when you have fire.
Yeah, so if you don't have the powers, it's kind of worth it to go get them in 6-1,
yeah.
Just for this stage especially.
Yeah, doing this stage small was extremely difficult because you have to pull off so many pipe jumps if you're trying to do it quickly. I will admit that it is very fulfilling when you do pull it off, though. So 342 for the Cole and 340 from Barnowl. On the 6-3, it can be a little trolly with the bullet bills. You don't typically see too many problems with that. Just a couple of these first jumps can be, you have to pay attention to what you're doing or you can easily run off the platform. And both players taking the springboard. Barnowl Barnow's going to finish a little fast. Ooh, well, maybe not.
Both finish the same.
On to 6-4. This one, they will probably wait. Okay, so Cole went under the first one. Barnowl went under the first one.
The same thing.
And good bars from Barnowl. Nice quick kill for the Cole. Barnowl getting a lot of lag here, but also ends with the 256. So still an extremely close race between two players through the first 6 worlds. $351 for Barnowl, $352 for the Cole. You can get a 353 if you play this without stopping, so you do need to have a little bit of a hesitation or delay in that level somewhere to avoid fireworks. So on to 7-2, which is just like 2-2, except you have more cheap cheeps, more bloopers, and it's just a bigger pain.
Yeah, bigger pain next hit for either player could decide it here very late in the run here.
Oh, and Cold
Oh,
somehow avoided that cheap cheap. Barnowl having a little trouble with the bloopers there too.
both players.
So.
Oh,
And
blooper.
Barnowl takes a hit. So 7-2 not being very kind to either player. So this is kind of a significant, a fairly significant event here because Barnowl can't go into World 8 with fire now because there's not enough power-ups. You have 1 and 7-3 to pick up the mushroom, and that's it.
But we'll see if he will go for the power up here in 7-3.
So if Cole doesn't lose his power-ups, then he can have a pretty significant advantage going into World 8, especially for 8-1. Oh, and Barnowl dancing around with the fish there for the power-up, but looks like he's going to have
Gonna
it.
take it.
Okay, on to 7-4. This is the second of the puzzle castles in the game. So the first part is bottom, middle, top, and then the second section is top, middle, top. And good kill
nice
for
kill.
the Cole. Barnowl, is he going to challenge Bowser or is he going to wait on him? He's going to wait on him. And ooh, a little close, but he makes it. On to World 8. So Barnow's going to have to wait some for some of the enemies and plants and so forth. I mean, you can go all out and go for a 200 on the timer, but without fire, that's quite a bit more difficult without taking a hit. But the thing to keep in mind here is the Cole does have a fairly significant lead at this point, but it only takes one big mistake to completely change this around. So basically, I've seen enough of these matches in this tournament to say that it's not over until they hit the gas.
It could happen in 8-2 here.
Okay, 192 for Barnowl.
And the Cole had a 195.
Barnowl waiting a little bit at the beginning of. Oh, and Cole was having a little trouble there. Barnow's going to pick up the fire. Hopefully, he doesn't. Oh, he almost got caught by the bill there.
Cole's taking it safe. He doesn't want to get hit.
Barnowl finishing up 8-2. So he's probably about 10 seconds behind or so.
And neither player has died yet, but both players have lost their power-ups once in this race.
On to the last section of 8-3 for the Cole, which should be pretty easy. When you have fire, it's a lot easier. Okay, and on to the end of 8-3 for Barnowl with a 242.
This race is very close, and we are in the final stage of the game. Up to 8-4, will either player get the wall jump here? The Cole misses
not get it. Barnowl, I don't anticipate will try it. I've known Barnowl for a long time, and I don't anticipate he will try it. Nah, he's going to do it that way. And water section for the Cole. like he's going to make. Oh, and
Oh,
he's
Cole
getting hung
went
up
away
with
from
the.
fire bars.
And so all he's got to do is hit the X here.
Or another
and
Bowser in
run
time.
for the Cole. And here comes barnowl. And
Time. Sub 20 for both players.
Sub 20 for both players.
About 8-second difference on the time.
So, GG to both players. Congrats to the Cole for moving on.
Yeah, both players had small hiccups here and there. They both lost the power up just once, but they both finished the run deathless, so it could have been anyone's race.
So we'll see if either or both of the guys want to come in for an interview. But so close race. And like you said, neither player died. Some power-ups were lost, but neither player died. So strong performance by both players.
Yeah. So the Cole will advance into the next round of the tournament. He will enter the top 4.
So let's take a look at the bracket here real quick.
So the Cole will face the winner of the race coming up later tonight. It will be between ZZZ and Rupert yourself.
Yeah, that's that's going to be a tough match. That is he. Let's see, the race bot time that he had, and of course it was lower actual real time and so forth. But ZZZ got a 19:26 in his race earlier today, so that's going to be extremely tough to compete against. I mean, I'm gonna try, but. That's gonna be a tough matchup for sure. Let's see.
Hi.
Hello.
Hello, and Cole. Congrats on the win. It was a very close race, and congrats on the deathless sub 20 run.
Yeah, finally. After a lot of attempts, I wasn't expect to have a deathless run because I did some tries prior to the race, and I died pretty much every time at least once. So I was a little bit surprised.
And is that your best performance of this tournament?
Definitely, yes, by far. Yes.
Yeah, very impressive.
I could have been a lot better, but hate too. I played a little bit too much safer.
Yeah.
Because I had a feeling that my time would have been good enough for. I may have been completely wrong, but I had a feeling that the time was already good, so I decided, okay. I did a couple of weird movements at the end of A2, so let's just take this slowly, not take any unnecessary risk, because I knew that the flower would have been clutch, and indeed it was. But the only mistake I made was the stairs in 3-1. The rest was okay. I mean.
Yeah, you lost your power up there at the end of 2-1 to that Koopa there. Oh, sorry, 3-1.
Yeah, I missed the Koopa. Basically, I completely missed the Koopa. I have a visual clue for that shoot, but I completely missed it.
That was a pretty solid run out of both of you, actually.
Yeah.
But yeah, I saw you had a little trouble there toward the end of 8-2, but I feel that you made the correct decision there and just trying to back off a little bit and make sure you didn't take a hit or accidentally dive into the level. I don't know. Were you watching the restream or your opponent?
No. Let's say that I knew more or less what was the PB of my opponent, and I knew more or less which kind of time I could have expected to be against. So I'm pretty sure I would expect something close around 20 minutes, and my split, and up to that moment, my time would have been around 90-40. So I knew I had a little bit of margin to play a little bit safe. But of course, I could have been completely wrong, because I can't be sure that my opponent is not going to PB on race. This is something that can likely happen. So
right,
maybe a little bit risky. But that's the only real preference I have, because I don't really like watching the streams. It's too deconcentrating for me.
Yeah,
Yeah,
distracting.
Sorry?
Yeah, I bet it'll be more distracting if you're watching somebody else how he's playing over
Yeah,
here.
definitely. Yeah. Yes.
Yeah,
Because I have
some people
I-
prefer to watch their opponent, and some people prefer not to. I typically don't, but I have done it before, so it's just sometimes I will admit that I do feel a little distracted when I do that, but
yeah, it's distracting for me, and also it's not that it's distracting, but for me the worst thing is that he can give me a false sense of security. I mean, I see the opponent very behind, and then I start taking safe strats, because my opponent is behind. I don't need to play risky. I don't need to use usual strats, and this is deadly in race, because if you need to stick as much as possible with what you are most comfortable with. And I feel that if I watch the stream and my opponent is behind, I'm going to play too safe. And at the same time, if I see that I'm behind, I'm going to be too nervous, and then I start playing too risky, and that doesn't work for me. It doesn't work, so I prefer not to watch it at all. And then if I see done, my opponent types down before me, GG. I mean, it's a race. It's fine.
GTA's already beat me to the comment and all that stuff. So I guess at this point I'm the only American left in the tournament. So,
Yeah.
Against the 3 Japanese brothers.
and that
Don't
may
leave me-
that that
Don't
that
leave
may
me alone against the Japanese.
so you're moving on, and you're going to play the winner of the match later tonight between myself and ZZZ. Who do you have winning that race, or who would you like to see win that race?
Me, at this point, me is really indifferent, because I mean, I would like me playing against you would be absolutely cool, but also facing ZZZ. ZZZ is all. I mean, this moment there's nothing I could do against ZZZ. I mean, after the race he had this morning, that was insane. But whoever my opponent will be, I will be trying to do my best, and then if I win, well, even if I don't win, I mean, look how much far I am right now. This is insane for me. This is absolutely insane.
Yeah.
So whatever the outcome will be, I have not really nothing to lose. I mean, it's already amazing being here for me. So we will see.
Either way that it goes, it's a tough road to the finals, because whoever wins the match between you and the winner of my match this evening and stuff will face off against London B in the losers bracket finals. So and then to get to the grand finals, I mean, you have to beat him as well. So it's for anyone who goes up through the rest of this and stuff, it's a tough road ahead.
Yeah, definitely. Especially if Japanese players continue to play like they are doing right now by subbing 19-30 minutes, so it completely as it was the easiest thing in the world. I mean,
really one of the biggest things with all 4 of them actually and so forth is their level of consistency with doing these races. Like they are all super consistent, and that's really difficult to compete.
Yes.
To compete with, but it's
try
been
our best.
Yep. Everyone's just trying their best and play smart and all that stuff.
Races have to be played. I mean, everyone can do mistakes. So on paper, we both start as underdogs, but then everyone can commit mistakes. I mean, so everything can really happen. So races have to be played until the very end. So it's not over until your opponent touches the axis. So that's our game. But in any case, for me, reaching that far in the tournament is great. It's already crazy, and the next race I will try to do my best, and we will see.
Well, good luck to you against your next opponent, whoever that's going to be. But you've made it pretty far in this tournament. Did you expect to get?
Absolutely not. Absolutely not. I mean, when I started this, okay, I saw this tournament from Chuck's stream. I was watching Chuck when Chuck attacks, practicing the SMB Warpless.
Okay.
And then I read, oh, practice for tournament. Which tournament? What? Who? I want to know more. And then I started to look up. I found this tournament. I wasn't really running the game for more than 2 years. I mean, I had a time they submit 2 years ago. And then, okay, let's try. I mean, and nothing to lose. If I had to lose the first races, that's fine. I mean, what can go wrong even if I lose? So let's try.
It's all just, everybody's just here to have fun. And it seems like everyone. I feel like it's honestly going pretty well, and it's stayed at a pretty good speed. The losers bracket's always going to lag behind a little bit, but I've tried to keep it going the best I could and so forth. But overall, I feel like it's gone very well. It's exceeded my expectations of what I had in mind for how this would go. So I've been pretty pleased with it so far.
Yeah, we're almost at the end. I mean, we have only 4 matches to the end of the tournament. 4, maybe 5 if we have in the grand final Kaku lose the first one, but we are pretty close. I mean, I didn't expect to be into the tournament at this point. I mean, I planned to, okay, this tournament is going to last for me, say 1 month. In February will be already out, and apparently I'm still here. So this is a little bit strange for me, but yeah, I'll keep going and I'll keep training a little bit and try to improve my PB, and we will see.
Yeah.
And how would you feel if you were to face Kaku? He was the one who knocked you off the winners bracket.
Yeah, that would be so strange. I mean, Kaku is an amazing player, and we also how to say, we wrote to each other in chat. Sometimes we have some chat together. I usually watch his stream, so we are also quite friends. And it would be amazing facing him again. But it's going to be very hard. I need a lot of chokes from my opponents from now on, but a lot of them. Otherwise, it's not going to be possible. But we will see.
And like you said, anything can happen until that last axe is hit.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. We saw a lot of matches that Supersonic, I think, lost a match that was already won right in front of the last Bowser. So everything can happen.
Yeah, we've had a few other crazy turn of events happen. We had one race in which the player who was on pace to win, he did the duck swim in the underwater section of 8-4, and he clipped into the wall, and basically he was stuck there for until the time ran out. But by that time, his opponent had already came back and won. So we've had some really crazy stuff. Yeah. So
yeah, I remember that race. That was I was thinking, what the hell I'm watching right now? What is this? Oh, okay. Also, I note down. Okay, if you duck swim, remember to pay attention not to clip that, because you don't want to lose runs. That would be stupid. It can happen. I mean,
that match was Mr. Cab versus Merrick, I think. Yeah. I'm not sure exactly how you pronounce his name, but it was that match, and that was. That's pretty close to the top of the craziest turn of events I've seen in this tournament. We've had quite a few, but that was definitely one of them.
Yeah, definitely. Remember that race. Definitely remember that race. Couldn't believe what I was watching at the time.
Yeah, that is. Although it is easier to navigate through some of the obstacles and so forth when you do the duck swim, when you're Fire Mario, that is the risk that you take by doing that strat. Is if you accidentally mess up and you swim up too high, you'll clip into that wall, and there's nothing you can do. You just have to sit and wait.
Yeah, probably Mr. Cub wasn't even aware of that, and simply went through the pipe, because even if I miss the pipe, I'm just going to mouse down and then enter it. It can happen. It's unfortunate, but this is the game we play, and yeah. So
I think we'll work on wrapping this up here. So I just wanted to say again, GG to both players. Congrats on moving on.
GG to Barno. That was an insane race, even from his part, because he has a PB of 1956, I believe, if I'm not mistaken. If I'm not mistaken, he did 20:02. He wasn't even playing for a long time, so it was a crazy round from his part. It was really crazy. But it was he did an incredible round. I mean, it was crazy. Barnum is an amazing runner. I was aware of that. I knew I would have needed a sub 20 to win. That's what happened, and luckily for me.
Yeah, his experience spans a lot of games too, from quite a few Mario games to Mega Man to Zelda. Yeah. He plays quite a few games, and he's pretty good at a lot of them too. So. Yeah. Also, there's one other match today. As I mentioned earlier, it'll be me versus ZZZ PC at 9 p.m. Eastern time this evening. So that should be an interesting race. It's going to be a tough one. It's going to be a tough matchup for sure. But hopefully it goes pretty well. And that's pretty much all we have for that one. That's all we have for the races for this week. So we're just a few matches away from wrapping this up, wrapping the whole tournament up. So it's been, of course, it's been almost a couple of months now. It, in a way, doesn't seem like it's been that long, but
month and a half. 1 month and a half. We started it 2 of February.
But it's been fun so far, and I'm hoping to maybe run another one of these again at some point. Probably going to be a little while at the soonest, maybe in late summer or something like that. But it could be somewhere beginning of next year or something like that. Because I mean, like I've had a lot of fun and I've enjoyed it, but it's one of those things where it takes a lot of time and effort, and I'm ready for a break for a little while. So.
You deserve it, man.
But, can you imagine? Yeah.
But also, I just want to say thanks to the Speed Gaming crew for being able to restream the vast majority of our races. I don't think we've had any races in this entire tournament that haven't been restreamed. I've restreamed some on my SMB1 community channel when SG was booked up and so forth, but I think we've been able to cover every single one. So that's been a lot better than I expected. And once again, thanks to the SG guys for being able to pick up all these restreams and helping us out and so forth.
Thanks to both of you for the commentary. Thanks to Rupert for hosting this amazing tournament. I am having a lot of fun, both to attend and both to watch every race. Every race is so good to watch. So I'm definitely so glad that I had the opportunity to join this tournament. And it's still not over yet. I have at least one match, so fun goes on. The fun for me, and luckily for me, still goes on at least until the next match, and then we will see.
Okay, we're going to wrap it up here. Thanks everyone for watching. Hope you enjoyed it, and hopefully we will see you around at 9 p.m. Eastern on the main Speed Gaming channel for the next tournament race. Until then, enjoy your day, and we'll see you around.
Yep, see you all in a couple of hours. Have a good one, everybody.
Bye-bye.